How you doing, everybody? It's Friday the 18th of December 2009. It's in the middle of the afternoon. Lovely day outside, snow flurries, animals very agitated. I think probably going to be a rough 4 or 5 days ahead of us. Anyway, I just want to talk about one thing today. Really, it's an extension of what we were talking about over the last couple of video postings. Really about the shape of society, and is it a triangle, is it a round society, and just society in general. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to talk about the relationship between society and history. And before I do that, I just want to say a couple of things. First of all, I want to thank everybody, all the people that have subscribed over the last couple of weeks to my little videos. I want to thank everybody for the comments. I just want to say, this is what this is. This is a forum. Alright, this is like it's a modern technological means of people communicating with one another, and it's free. It's actually free. It's hard to believe that this is free. YouTube have given us this fantastic facility whereby people can put up video postings and video commentaries, and other people can see it all over the world. And I find it extraordinary. Me, little Ireland, in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the North Atlantic, that I can put up these video postings, and people can all over the world, all over the Western, and all over the world, as far as West Australia, people have seen them. And I just find that incredible. And not to use it would be a great wrong, and to do it, I think, is a great right, a great proper thing to do. And just a couple of things. I've only one purpose in doing this, and that is the purpose is to force people to think for themselves. That's all. There's no other purpose in this. It's just my little counter to the media and the church that are the main propagandizing agents of the states, of all the modern Western democracies throughout the world. They use the media and the church, essentially. And this is my little effort to try and balance that. I can't do it anymore. I don't have any power. I don't have any influence. Whatever. So YouTube have given me this medium, this forum, and I'm so delighted to be able to do it. Just one caveat I want to put in. I hope this doesn't sound like I'm lecturing people or I'm trying to impose my will on other people. It's not that at all. It's just me talking about my little experience as an old fella on this planet, and what I gained out of the little insight I've gained. And if it can be of any help to anybody, fantastic. If it's not, I'm sorry. I don't mean like it sounds like lecturing, or I'm trying to get one over on anybody. I'm not selling anything, and I'm not trying to promote any political ideas. I'm not a member of any political party, so you know where I'm coming from. All right. I just want to say a couple of things about this mankind, and about the types of society and everything else, and in relation to history. We've basically been Homo sapiens. We basically inherited that. We've been living on the mud ball flying around the big star that we fly around. We've been doing that for about 250,000 years. So in the history of the mud ball, we're only newcomers. Do you understand? There's been plants and animals that have been here for millions of years before us. They reckon we as Homo sapiens arrived about 200, through breeding and all the rest, we arrived about 250,000 years ago. It's not much. Maybe something less, maybe a lot longer. But that's what they say, the social anthropologists. And I would agree with them. It's something like that. Okay. Since that time up until now, we've had 3 major political systems that have governed us. Haven't had 20 or 30, just 3. There's been variants of it. There's been other ones. I know. I'm just for a second. The 3 are tribalism, monarchy, and republicanism. Okay? And the way I see those 3 things is, I see those 3 things as progressive states. Okay? I think, generally speaking, the average monarchist system was a better system than the average tribal system. Now, lots of people would say, oh, but I know tribes. I know that. But in the main, the monarchist system was a better system for the ordinary man in the street than the tribal system. And the same thing applies to the Republican system. The Republican system is a better system by far than the monarchist system, by far. And so far, the only two other systems that emerged in the 20th century are fascism and communism. And what do I say about them? Both of the manifestations of both them have been totalitarian. Very difficult to get your head around. Okay? So, I'm not going to expect, because I have never lived under either of them. I've only lived, and I'm only aware, and I've only met people who've lived under a monarchist system. I know lots of people have lived under a monarchist system, and I know lots of people that have lived in the Republican system. Don't know anybody who's lived in a tribal system. I haven't gone down to the Amazon basin. Okay? But I view it as society, the mankind, history, generally speaking, forcing us forward in a positive manner. Okay. Now the other thing the social anthropologists tell us is, at what stage, they discuss what stage are we at in our social development. Okay. And they make the comparison between, which is a very valid comparison because it's to do with people, it's to do with human beings. They say a man or woman lives 70 years and they go through a process as they arrive to maturity. Okay? And let's say people arrive at maturity around 40, 50, around that sort of age, you know what I mean? Where are we at? And they die when they're 70, say, okay? Where are we at in the history of mankind? And I would agree with the social anthropologists. They say basically we're at a baby stage. And they bulk their arguments up. They reinforce our arguments saying, like, you know, weapons of mass destruction, scientists given over to developing microbiological weapons that could wipe out the whole world, all that. And I agree with them, all that. But I think just on an ordinary human level, if you pose the question, how many ways politicians have you come across? How many have you seen? Now, I've only been in this world for a short period of time. And I think certainly there would not fill one hand the number of people that I have ever seen that I could say, my God, that's a wise human being. That's a really wise man or a wise woman. And they really understand the human condition and the fragility of man. And they have a macro understanding of the world. Most of these politicians are self-aggrandizing muppets of the first friggin' order who know nothing about nothing. And they are appalling. They're really appalling individuals. And they're the people that we elect and give power to. However, so I think really I would agree with the social anthropologists. We're at a baby stage in human development. And we've got a long, long way to go. But do I think society in the main is getting better? Yes. Do I think people are becoming more and more aware of the circumstances that are you know, facing? Yes. Do I believe a war is going on for people's minds? Yes. I believe a war is going on for everybody's mind, constantly by society. And having said all the negative aspects, all the negative bad parts about society, I still think society, it will go through trials, tribulations, wars, droughts, famines, you name it. But we have a purpose here. And that's what I'm finally going to finish up. I think we're headed towards a better place. And we'll have to go through terrible trials and tribulations before we do that. And I think it's an incremental thing. I don't think, generally speaking, we make massive jumps forward in social development. I think, and in political development. I think we tend to ratchet it along. I think that's what tends to happen. And I just want people to be aware of that. That's how I see it. I see history not as a benign thing, but as a positive thing. And history is something to learn from. Final question I want to ask you is just one thing. Why do you think we're here? Why do you think we're on the planet? What is our purpose? And what I'll do is we'll have another little snip. We'll have a think about that, and then I'll tell you what I think, and then you can tell me what you think. Okay?